All right, welcome back. Let's go over to Hawaii, where they're expressing concern over a possible war in the Korean Peninsula. Alfred Acenas will tell us more from Hawaii. Alfred, come in.
Aloha, ahi, ahi. Good evening, Alma, and to everyone there in the Philippines. Uh, I just want to say, and just to remind everyone, our viewers and our fans, if any, that on this same month, 4 years ago, when EBC Hawaii first kicked off reporting the news that matters, it was North Korea that we were talking about back then. Fast forward to 2017, we're still talking about the same region, and especially its impact on Hawaii. So let me start with this map here, just to give a bigger picture of what's going on, particularly with North Korea already, and Kim Jong-un already showing off its capability with a warhead that's as just as deadly as the one that was dropped in Japan at the end of World War II. And we just wanted to point out that any kind of conflict of this scale, it will have very dire consequences that nobody wants. Okay, so we wanted to stress, and at this point, some of us who are following this story should be already familiar with what's going on. But what I wanted to share more specifically is what just taken place earlier this week. And before I go to the next map, I just want to read a portion of a state Senate resolution that acknowledges that Hawaii needs to prepare for a nuclear disaster by updating its fallout shelter plans and upgrading its existing shelters. Now, I wanted to also highlight here that one of its resolutions is to be able to upgrade all its infrastructure to include Aloha Stadium as an alternate or an emergency backup for a harbor yard. Because if we're going to jump into the map of Hawaii, particularly on Oahu, where Honolulu is located. Here we go. So we got here Honolulu, and Alma, I think you're familiar with this area here. This is Waikiki. This is downtown Honolulu. This is your predominantly residential and commercial areas, which, for someone as a state or non-state aggressor, a bad guy, if you will, is not and has some nuclear capabilities, is probably not going to invest heavily on this area right here. Instead, they're going to invest and target areas like this, just west of downtown Honolulu. Let me orient you right now to Honolulu International Airport. You got Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, a very large military installation. Let's go further up north here. You got a munitions field across the harbor, and further up north here is Aloha Stadium, in which the legislature was calling for an upgrade to serve as a backup for shipyard support. So, and then you have the Sand Island where Honolulu Harbor is located. So this area right here can be very critical if any disaster were to happen. And if I were to recall the blast radius of the warhead that North Korea is bragging about, it would be the equivalent to the length of this runway of the airport. So bottom line on this capability is that, and it's a little bit of relief, that one warhead will not wipe out the entire island, let alone the whole state. But if it were to strike, it could cripple one of these key nodes here: the airport, the harbor, the stadium, and then further up north you have the headquarters of U.S. Pacific Command. So in this kind of scenario, there's no secret. The scholars talk about this. even the bad guys. I'm pretty sure at this point North Korea already knows about it. But if you were to cripple any of these, you're not only crippling the capabilities of the state, you're not only crippling the capabilities of the US, you're also giving everybody in this part of the world a hard time, you know, as far as providing any kind of support anywhere in the world. Now, if I were to, if I can just help everyone recall, in 2011, when we responded to the earthquake and tsunami here in Japan, a lot of activity, a lot of coordination, not necessarily a lot of hard commodities. A lot of it came from here in Japan. So, there was some substantial amount of support coming from here to help out those in Japan. 2013, we all know what happened in Leyte in the aftermath of Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan. There was a lot of decisions being made at this part of the world from here in Hawaii. Even the one in the earthquake in Nepal in 2015. So you take this out, you're just hurting everyone in the process. So a nuclear option, on here and anywhere else in the world is just not a good idea. So with that, I say happy anniversary to EBC Hawaii. We just hope, Alma, we can talk about something else next year when we celebrate 5 years.
All right. Thank you very much, Alfred.